This week on the Push Pull Loads podcast, we talk about puddings, fizzy drinks, and burgers, also fitting your exercises around your anatomy. Three, 2, 1. Sign up for my level 1 Zoom coaching course, Dan.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Damik.
And me, Tom Hall. What's going on, bro?
You're now a Zoom trainer, Tom. You're a Zoom
Whoa,
PT.
Oh, I just dropped my phone. Don't know if you heard that. But yeah, I'm a Zoom PT. After my tune has changed after the last. Well, I never said I'd never do it, but I felt like it was a bit weird. But yeah, during these times, you've got to adapt and do it for like 1 or 2 clients. And that's about it. It was. I did it last week, didn't I? And it's not as weird as I thought it was going to be. It is not as weird. And even the clients have said it's not as weird as they thought it was going to be. They thought they kind of hung back on it thinking this is going to be a bit odd. But yeah, strange. Lots of weird, certain scenarios and stuff you have to do. But yeah, it wasn't too bad.
It must be weird because I bet you want to move. I bet you're watching it and then you want to move to the right or left.
Yeah,
I'm to try and peek around the corner and you're like, oh, I can't.
I was like, I want you to line it up here, and they'll be just constantly just moving the phone or something like that, or moving the laptop slightly, as well. You realise that you don't, especially with I feel like it would be really hard to pick up new clients and coach them using this method right now, but with ones that you've already seen move a lot, it was pretty easy because it's very chatty, it's fine, whistles by anyway, as long as you've got your plan. There's no reason not to have a plan if you're on your computer. There. Literally. I was like, you literally on one side of the screen is a plan, and on the other side of the screen is the person, or on the phone is there. So I did it multi-tab, so I had 2. It's on my phone and on my computer. Crazy times, mate. But yeah, what's going on? How's the last week of Corona been for you?
Been alright, yeah.
Oop.
Oh, flipping dog. Hang on a second. It's just such a pain. Corona's been alright, except for the dog starting to piss us off. Is number one. Everyone's kind of feels like we get on top of each other a little bit, obviously as everyone else is, I get that, but it's it's just starting to come to a head, really, isn't it? And it's sort of, I think we need to be told pretty soon when we're allowed to go out a bit more or whatever, because it's a bit. I just think, we're all getting a bit short with each other, but also
still more out there though, who I was talking. So this podcast will be released before the one I recorded yesterday. So there's one coming out at the end of the week. Will be with all the education coordinators at First Base, but they were talking. Oh, dogs on the bed, mate. Running riot.
He loves it, doesn't he? Just coming out.
He actually jumped up.
Yeah, he can probably jump, mate. He's pretty strong now. He's big, yeah. He jumps off the bed.
Crazy, because I took the piss out of Laura because I was like, how has he got up there? And he was like, he jumped. I was like, fuck off. He's tiny. I've met him. I was like, he can't jump that high.
He's got bigger now, but he's just getting really just really loud. He barks at any noise in the house, anything.
And also the description of Dan's dog was, hats off to Laura again. I'm pretty sure it was an oxymoron. Was a large miniature dachshund. So a regular sized dachshund, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
just a normal dachshund. It was a large miniature. I was like, "What, Laura? Yeah, he's a large miniature." Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Just work that one out. Yeah, or a small normal. Yeah. I think I feel like I'm in a bit more of a routine with it now. I know what days I've got certain work on, and I know what days I have to look after Isabel a bit more. I know what days, all that sort of stuff, but. It's getting to the point now where I think we've both spoken about, haven't we, about just motivation for fitness stuff is a little bit lower. I just feel like I want to get back in the gym. I'm actually missing the gym, and I'm motivated to get back in. I really want to get back in and stuff. And I just feel a bit I'm having long enough off now. I want to kind of get back in there, but I don't know. It's not about routine because I've got a routine now. It's just the weather's turned a bit shit now, isn't it, as well? So if I feel like we've lost a room. Do you know what I mean, with the garden?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. disgusting, wasn't it? But talking to the boys yesterday, they were like, there's still people out. Like Henry was saying, yeah, outside right now, there's a 5-side football match going on. And he's like, I was like, what? Are you kidding? And then where Lloyd was, like a load of lads playing cricket, like bring some stumps out, playing cricket. I was like,
I think we live in a bit of I think we do live in a bit of an echo chamber in terms of what we see on social media, and I've talked about it before, I think, on here, about people shouting about stuff on their social media, and I'm like, yeah, but your followers are going to do that anyway because they're following you. It's like there's no point. And I think when you realise what the world is like out there and what people are doing, like people, I saw the other day again, like people are travelling to like the Yorkshire Dales for walks, and the police caught someone from Kent. They'd driven from Kent to go to the Yorkshire Dales, and you just forget that there's people out there. I saw another video of a guy. It was on one of the Facebook groups I'm in. It's like an office, like appreciation group basically, but. They posted a video of a guy who downed a litre bottle of vodka. He got nominated in this pint, like drinking your pint as quick as you can, lad. And he decided that wasn't hard enough. He wanted to do a litre of vodka. Fair play to him, he did it as well, which was ridiculous. But obviously the person shared his video into the group, and then obviously people go on his profile. And you can see pictures of him there later on. And he's like, oh, I'm still standing. He's still like alive, basically. But then he's with 3 of his mates just in their garden having beers and stuff. And you just sat there like... You're a prick, mate. Like, not only because of that, but you're just a prick. Like, and it's, I just don't get it. Like, and we've had it here. Like, the neighbours upstairs have like gone down. And they've had people over, and they just go and stand in the driveway, chat to them for a bit, and go. And it's like, I don't. Again, it's not the end of the world. But when you sit down outside on the grass bit and you get your blanket out and have a picnic, and yeah, you might be 2 meters away, but it's a bit like that. I'm not as bothered about. But it's kind of like it's still a bit like, why don't you just not? Like, why don't you just not? It's just far easier. I don't know, maybe I'm just being grumpy about it, but like you said, I think there's an element of it where there's, to us and our friends and our people that we know or follow or who follow us will just know, like, you just do the right thing. But there's a lot of people out there who aren't. Like, there's a lot of people.
All the government has literally said is, all we have to do is just stay home. That's it. And
I've even noticed, I said to Laura the other day, I noticed I take Frankie out for a walk every morning, same time, usually at 8:30 every morning for the last 2 weeks, and each day you can see it's getting busier. There's more cars, more people, more stuff going on. Like I think McDonald's now, Greg's, I think a few of them have talked about slowly starting to reopen, so like how they're going to do that
as well. I think this is weird as well because they're going to slowly start to reopen, and people have got to travel to them as well. And then Costa were going online as well. They were like, oh yeah, we're going to open our drive-throughs. And then a load of people were like, finally, I can drive to a Costa. And I was like, no, that's not the point. They're only meant to be opening for NHS workers. That's it.
Yeah, I feel that maybe I think there's also been an element of this that maybe the government have given the industries a bit more of an idea of when they're allowed to do stuff, because obviously it's all come about this week, so maybe they've sort of said, look, you know, over the next few weeks plan to reopen, and obviously they need to have a plan, they need to test these things, see what's going to work. But I think we are starting to see the end of the actual complete like stay at home, and now it might be, look, you can go to work if your workplace can provide a safe 2 meter distance, blah, 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 whatever, all that sort of stuff. So maybe it will start slowly going back. But again, I'm not going to go anywhere in a hurry. I'm staying put pretty much. And like you said, if your gym's not open, it's doubtful you're going to go to Costa for a drive-through coffee just for the sake of it. It's probably going to be if you're on your way to work or something. So it'd be interesting to see what happens and what changes. But it's I just think we're in it for such a long period of time. I think people are very naive to think that this year that things are going to be somewhat back to normal. Like there'll be no festivals this year, football events. You're not going to go to any stadiums to watch football. Like you're not. Like it's just not going to happen. They've said until there's a vaccine, you're like these things are going to be in place until we can guarantee everyone's safety. And you're looking at it and going, well, it's going to be a while. Like I just don't.
Isn't the French football league got cancelled? Didn't it?
I don't know, to be honest. Not
today.
So much.
Today it got cancelled, I think. So there's going to be
like
no
the whole Premier
more.
League are going, oh yeah, we can finish the season. It's like, why don't you just cancel it and just start again next season? Like, I don't get it.
Just be like, all right, we played up until now. That's the final table because you've all played the same amount of games, pretty much. Or if you haven't, just give them the average of what they've just had. Cool, that works for me. Oh no, we got a run in of home games. Who gives a shit? Like, it's either that or people are going to die. Okay, cool. It's just a hard one to know what's going to happen. But the quicker that they can get sport back on the TV so that people at home can watch it, the better. Like I think that's obviously the next route, isn't it? They're going to get they're going to teams.
pay for your staff to pay for your players to get tested, and then make sure they don't ever do anything other than go home, see their family, and come to play. Make sure you're constantly testing them. You have to buy all the kits or whatever, but that could be a way that they can enable some sort of normality for people. But I saw the other day a petition going around to open the gyms up, and I was just like, these fucking people, man. Like, I get it, we all miss the gym, we all want to go, but try and get a petition. Like, it'll open when it's safe. Like,
just a weird one, isn't it? Because obviously, like, it was on the first thing of Georgia, one of them to open, and I'm sitting there going like, even though I understand for the health and the physical and the mental well-being of people, like they need it, but I'm sitting there going, but it's still a place where people kind of cough and splutter all over people, use the same equipment, they have to touch other stuff and like sweat everywhere. It's probably one of the places where it's going to be easiest to catch something, I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, the other side of it is, well, we're all going to get it, we might as well just get it. Like, and it's like, well, yeah, I don't know. I just
think with a 1 or 2% chance of death, it's alright.
I don't fancy that.
No, it's still too high. If I'm really honest, it's a bit odd. If if you drive down this road, Tom, 100 times, you will die. All right, wonderful. Okay, cool. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I just think it's getting to that point now where people are starting to feel a bit desperate, and I think they've also maybe forgotten the fear factor, or they've forgotten maybe things like, I don't know, but there's people trying to get out and about and stuff. But who knows, mate? I think even like I saw that I think Germany had like they were one of the lowest death rates. When they started easing the lockdown, and then
because some of the UK scientists were getting pissy with Germany because they're not reporting the same. So there isn't a standardised way of reporting coronavirus deaths. So they think some of them are misleading. So number 10 have taken China off the board completely. They're not even using them as relative data. And Germany, they don't believe that they're report. So if somebody dies from pneumonia, they will report it as they died from pneumonia, even though they may have had COVID symptoms. It's that kind of wishy-washy, whereas it looks like what we're doing in France and Italy is like, actually, they had pneumonia probably because they had COVID. Let's put that down as probably a COVID thing. Which is interesting. But it's done a bump up anyway because all the residence homes and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all. But even Germany, I think, even with their lower numbers, that they've eased elements of their lockdown or whatever, and then they've just seen a second spike in it again. So it's just like it's
going to happen. Apart from New Zealand done it right. They locked everybody up before it got there, basically, didn't it?
Did they?
They absolutely smashed it. Yeah, absolutely smashed it. Like, well, they're literally like hunting the last few cases down, apparently. But they're still all very dogmatic. They've done it right before it even kind of got to the country. The president or prime minister locked the country up for 3 weeks. We're just like, nope, ain't getting in.
Yeah,
like, well done. Good foresight, that. Like, good girl. So smart lady. All right, should we talk?
We just had Cheltenham, didn't we? We just let that carry on.
Oh yeah, Cheltenham happens. Then we flew over a load of people for the Liverpool game. Did that. It'd be fine. Even though during that week the other games were being played behind closed doors in France and elsewhere, and Italy matches were being postponed. All right, yeah, we'll just do it. It's fine. 3 days later, Man City, Arsenal. Oh, what? Arteta's got it, has he? Oh, great idea. Good. All right. Crazy. Anyway, mate. Burgers, yeah.
Oh, mate, don't get me started on this. Right? Do I have to get the definition again?
3 big topics are here about food, and obviously, I think one you agree with me, one you're on the fence, and one you just disagree totally. So as with it, we'll cover fitness at some point in this show. Only about
fitness is as boring as coronavirus right now. So let's talk about anything else.
But yeah, so should we start on what we agree with? And this is just more of a dig at my significant other, to be honest. So she showed you, and I've obviously had about 20-25 minutes of this, was the difference between chocolate mousse and chocolate pudding. Just to put that out there, okay? So a chocolate mousse, what would you describe that as?
Like an airy, fluffy dessert in a yogurt pot type shape thing.
In yogurt pot would be the fundamental thing, I think. Yeah, it's definitely normally a yogurt pot. And chocolate pudding, so that's chocolate pudding to her. And what is the chocolate pudding to you, mate?
The chocolate pudding comes in like a plastic container that you heat in the microwave or something, and then you flip it over, and then you take it off, and then it's got like chocolate sauce and like a cakey style thing.
Exactly. It's like a steamed kind of cakey thing. It's hot. Thanks. All right. So I'm hoping everybody agrees with us. And I did.
It's the only way. Frankie doesn't agree with you. I'm gonna lock him out.
Frankie's left the room because of that.
Gonna lock him out.
But we looked it up, and it's a direct thing from like Asia and America. Say pudding for the little pots of stuff, like cold puddings, and then apparently it's like us, Australia and stuff that say warm chocolate pudding. So
because we're correct, isn't it? So
yeah, 100%. All right, mate. Moving on. This was a big thing. Quite a lot of people got some opinions on my fizzy drink scenario. When you had a go at me, but then had to double take.
Well, no, I had a go at you, and then as I was sipping on a drink at a certain time of day, I kind of had to think to myself, does this count? And I was like, no, it doesn't count because it wasn't actually breakfast. But you can't have fizzy drinks at breakfast, Tom, other than Bucks Fizz on Christmas Day. That's like it. And that's what like the traditional thing a lot of families do.
Yeah.
That's it.
So Bucks Fizz is it champagne and orange, right?
I think it's something like that,
yeah. Okay. just in case. It's quite an old-fashioned drink, mate. Just showing your age.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I just always remember, like, my grandma used to always be like, we've got to have a Bucks Fizz. And I'd be like,
my same as well, yeah. But yeah,
back then it's had such cheap champagne, it was just like it had to be masked by the orange juice.
So yeah, my statement was I will quite happily. I won't drink. So I will quite happily drink a fizzy drink with or around breakfast, and I won't have Coke. That's the no-no. It's got to be something on the fruity side of thing. I will 100% have coffee. I understand this because. So looking through the comments, I never said I never would have. Obviously, I love coffee or a tea. I've actually had a couple of teas lately. Just I don't know, just cause not in the morning. Coffee still withstands. But I've got like the comments, responses that anything that's not coffee makes no sense in the morning. I still have coffee because coffee. I still have coffee. What was it? 10, 11. Mid-afternoon pick me up. Morning reserve for coffee. All right, I get the point. Coffee is the preference of that kind of day. Yeah, those are some of the comments, but still have coffee. But if you have something fruity, and my statement was if you have a Fanta orange with an orange juice and you go half and half, you mix that, it has a little tingle to the orange juice. It is great. But I would quite happily have a Fanta. It's fine.
No, I just can't handle it, mate. I just can't handle it. It's just not a thing at all. So the reason that I kind of questioned this though was the other day it was like 10:30 and I had a Monster and I was drinking it and I was like, ooh. I was like, but I'd already had breakfast 3 hours earlier, had 2 coffees, it's all good. Like, it's fine.
So you fit into my mum's category, is not with breakfast, that's coffee time, but about 10 or 11 a.m. That's exactly.
Yeah, but even then I wouldn't have. But even then it would only be a Monster though. It wouldn't be like a Coke or a Fanta. It would be a Monster. Which is weird.
Really?
Yeah. That's really odd. I think that's just a habit thing, though.
Well, like caffeine here, or yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a habit thing. It's just that at that point I've maybe had a couple of coffees and I'm like, probably shouldn't have another coffee. But then I have caffeine and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
I've had 2 coffees. I shouldn't have another one. I will switch my beverage and still have a caffeinated drink. But you're like, yeah. It's a weird scenario because you feel like 3 coffees in the space of like 2 hours is a little bit too much. But it's easily done.
Yeah. Oh, it's so easy, especially got really good coffee. Like I'm lucky for me. I've got great coffee on my doorstep, so I've got it here, and I have to have 2 a day. And I'm like, any more than that, I can't do it. I can't have any more than that because I just go sort of a bit hyper. And then, but I've noticed as well, being at home, you just always want more. So I had to actually buy some decaf because I was like, otherwise I'm just gonna go crazy with it. So I bought decaf because I don't mind decaf coffee about 3 o'clock, but you just can't have caffeinated coffee around then. It's just too late. So yeah, I don't know. I get your thing with tea sometimes, but I'm not a huge fan of tea. But
I reserve tea for when I'm back at my parents. Really, most of the time.
I only have tea back at home as well. How weird is that?
Just they constantly have it. It's almost like an insult if you're not sitting there with a cup of tea in their household. Like it's just always on tap.
And it tastes better there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents
Maybe
make
it for you. That's why I don't get that kind of service at home, do you?
It must be. But yeah, I think if it's time for fizzy drink as well, I don't have to split up the Coke and Fanta thing. I'm cool with either.
See, I'd go fruity before Coke. Yeah, Coke's a afternoon based drink, but it raised some issues on some of these comments. So, and it was agreeing with me. He was like, and there's nothing wrong with hot chocolate around breakfast as well. That's a little weird. I don't think I've ever had hot chocolate at breakfast.
I just no.
Hot chocolate's like a hot cocoa end of the evening kind of thing, isn't it? Or were you coming in from somewhere cold?
Yeah, when you're 10. Yeah.
I had like hot cocoa.
I haven't had a hot chocolate in I don't know how long.
So really, he said this because because every now and again, me and Annie, whilst we're PTing, if it's cold during the winter, we will both have hot chocolates on the gym floor whilst we're training our clients.
Oh, isn't that cute?
Because it's really cute, and everybody assumes we're drinking coffee, and we're like, joke's on you, we're having a lovely hot chocolate. Yeah, so lovely times. Some other ones, yeah, it's bizarre. This was having a hot drink with a hot meal, like having a hot drink with a hot meal. So it's like, so why can't I have a fizzy drink, but you probably wouldn't have like tea or hot drinks elsewhere?
Of course you would. Coffee with a full English breakfast every day.
Yeah, that's fine. But would you have coffee with your dinner?
Well, no, because it's got caffeine in it. But it's not because it's coffee. It's just because it's got caffeine in it.
So would you have some hot beverage, hot like blackcurrant with your Horlicks with your dinner?
No.
All right. But you could have your Fanta. So it's a weird time frame through that, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I sit with that, to be honest.
It's an odd one, and then I still never get the whole. I do it obviously after having a meal or like meal out. Like, can I have some coffee? It's like 11:30 at night. You're like, yeah, great. The drink that wakes you up in the morning. That's a good time to have it. But I'd still do it 100% every single time. Strange, isn't it? And then this this is where our next topic came in, was the burger.
So I think you're wrong.
One lad said, why is bacon and sausages acceptable but burgers aren't for breakfast?
And I said sausage McMuffin.
McMuffin.
They clearly are acceptable.
Sausage McMuffin.
Yeah, but it comes as a burger though. It comes in a burger shape.
No, it's sausage meat. Isn't it not? It's sausage meat. Do
I have to get the definition out for you again?
Do I have to get sausage meat? Because you don't go, oh, that's a pork burger. You go, that's a round sausage. That's sausage meat, isn't it?
Tom, right. Can we bring up the chicken burger again?
We were watching Top Chef the other day. The lad made sausage patties, and that was a sausage patty.
Definition. Dictionary definition. Burger, noun. Where has it gone? Meat or other food pressed into a round, flat shape and fried. There you go. Right? There you go.
Just if you say have it, I don't know. I don't know where I don't sit with that, mate. No.
I mean, granted, I get. Is because then does it come into the fact that a burger then is down to the bun you use? Because then it's a sausage muffin because of the muffin. But then it comes down to is the burger then because of the bun style? Like, is that what it is? You know, would a patty between two bits of bread not be called a burger? Because I wouldn't call that a burger. I'd call that a sandwich.
Sandwich, yeah.
So I think it's actually more to do with the bread-based product you use on it than it is about the actual inside of it. That's my thing. I think the burger has to be a round bun that's either sesame, plain, or brioche. That's kind of it. Like,
it's interesting because today I had, and I didn't know what to call it when I just called it a sausage bap essentially. Because I had it in, but it's not, is it? Because I had a normal burger kind of flour bun, but I put sausages in it. What's that? That's not a sausage roll because it's not a sausage roll, but it's a roll with sausages in.
Sausage bap.
It's a sausage bap, right? Because it's not a hot dog, is it? Because it's not sausage bread. I mean, these are the big questions that people need to be answering.
Well, they are, mate. People need to know the answers to these questions, ultimately.
Some of these prices as well about the fizzy drinks. It's too unnaturally sweet. Thank you. One of the ones was hilarious. I was like, thanks, Grandma. I don't fancy it then. Cool. Fair enough. And where was the one that I'm pretty sure she listens to the show? Yeah, Rebecca. I just hate fizzy drinks, full stop. The bubbles hurt my mouth. The bubbles. What? What? I was like,
what is that all about?
The bubbles hurt my mouth. I've never been hurt by a bubble.
No, ever in my life.
That's weird. That's a weird one, mate. Really weird one. But yeah, madness. Burgers, they're called sausage patties. They're made from sausage meat. I can get behind chicken burger, but you have to say chicken. If you say burger, you think beef. Weird one, mate. All right. I
don't know. I think you're wrong.
We can talk about motivation into classes as well now, mate, because I've done some classes. I've done some. I think it's Carl. I'm going to get his name wrong if you're listening to this show. I'm not too sure. Carl. I'll just call him Carl, the handstand guy. Done on Instagram. At Core Collective. Anyway, there's the founder of Row, I believe his name is. Really good. It's interesting because we were literally just talking about this off air, that the motivation to do workouts at home is really hard. I'm glad I've got like a couple of kettlebells now and a couple of dumbbells, which is pretty cool. So I can do stuff with them, which is actually quite nice. But just the ability to shut off and not think about and just follow somebody in like a little Instagram class is big. I realise I'm not getting the same gains. I know I can't do that all, and maybe if I did it myself, it could be better. Yeah, but I get to follow along. Like, it's actually makes me do it. I don't have to think about it. Just bam, 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 bam. It's good enough. It was really interesting. So I did one today. I did two today. I won't do any tomorrow. That's enough. But yeah, it's interesting, mate. I think it's the way for fitness professionals like me and you, who I don't know, are longing to go back to the gym and get excited by equipment not more than anything else. But I like to be in the environment to do it.
For sure.
And I like that's a cool Bulgarian split squat machine thing. Oh, that's a nice barbell. Let's jump on them. I was like, I'll quite happily organise my whole session around a squat rack and just do that because of the environment. I'm sitting there. But yeah, I think that's the way I think I'm gonna have to do it. So just to keep on top of things, because I can go for a bike ride and cycle and stuff like that. It does get annoying with traffic lights, and it's not the same as sitting on a watt bike. I won't be able to hit the same times because you stop by traffic. And the wind is a bitch when you're cycling outside. Don't get that inside, sorry. But yeah, following along, doing that kind of stuff, it was all right. It's not too bad.
Yeah, I think there's definitely that element, isn't it? Just
funny
following
language that Group X people use, but it's absolutely fine. It's actually quite good. I don't know. There'll just be like certain. I mean, we were discussing it on the Third Space Academy this week. And I do a lecture on it on internal and external cueing, and it's still stuff like brace your abs or squeeze your glutes and stuff like that. And I'm like, you don't, or like light up the glutes, right? Do that kind of thing. And I'm like, you just didn't need to say that, didn't we?
just not say that next time.
It's absolutely fine. Just say like, yeah, I really want to feel your glutes. Like, let's wake those guys up. It's like they weren't asleep. Or activate them. Like, they were already working. You're standing up. They physically can't be doing anything.
They just have to talk, don't they? They just have to be saying things.
I realised that we've probably done it way back when we were teaching circuit classes or TRX classes. You just crap. No matter how intelligent you are and whatever you think you're good at cueing and coaching cues and stuff like that, but the crap that comes out of your mouth when even the best coaches do it, and you're like, what am I saying? Just to fill air, especially when there's nobody giving you feedback and you can't hear the people participating. Like, even worse, you're just filling your time and talking to yourself. So
that must be the hardest bit, I think, for me. is that element to it, and I think that's where, like I said, with Laura, she does her Pilates classes, and as she said to me, the thing that she was worried about the most doing them was being able to see the people and the feedback. And it's just, she said she's had to actually change how she teaches, because she usually walks around and obviously sees them, but now she's having to demonstrate more, and she's having to actually do it so that when she's doing it, she can cue people how she would when she's doing the class, because she can see the people doing things that are wrong that she needs to work on, and she can almost go around and help them. Whereas now she has to almost do the movement so that she can cue people based on what she's feeling and how she's doing. You know, it's interesting how you do have to change that based on location, things like that, which is just interesting.
And yeah, how you have to adapt. None of this bullshit like when you did reps level 3 and your silent demonstrations. That's not going to be very good. They need the audio of you telling them exactly what you're meant to be feeling straight from the bat. I've noticed it where when I'm demonstrating something to a client on Zoom or whatever, I have to get certainly in the frame. I'll change my view. Like I'll do it laterally and like anteriorly, whatever's needed for the time. And then I'll highlight like 2 things that I really want them to focus on most of the time. And then whilst they're doing it, I'll watch through that. But it's that I feel that's tough. But one of the rules that I was saying the other week was like in a group session, I would 100% prefer cameras on if you're doing it through Zoom and you're able to see everybody. If like cameras on, it's just big because you can click through the screen. The instructor can come up, especially if there's a little routine that you're doing for like a minute or so. You can be like boom, 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 and see what people are doing and give them little input because their name's going to be on their thing. Because that can be invaluable. Just to make a quick fix, if you are doing the Zoom classes, do that. But if you're on the Instagram live ones, obviously you can't see. You could just lie and be like, yeah, smashed it. Watching it from bed. Yeah.
Just lying in bed. Not doing it.
How long do you do a handstand for? 4 minutes. What? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when when you see people saying that they've broken world records. Do you know what I mean? Doing their runs and stuff is brilliant. I just think it's just, I saw a post and it said this. It was like a meme, I think, or is it something? And it was like, this just sums up social media these days. Like what people are trying to achieve with it. It's just trying to impress people for no fucking reason. Like it's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. Like, but it's funny. I just laugh at seeing that. But
there was some girl that was like obviously done the 5K challenge. I realise it's for a good cause, but no more 5K challenges for me, thank you. I've done 2. But she had run the first time she'd run. She was like, "Oh, I've never done this before. It's my first time." And then, like, obviously, like showing the Strava, like the map my run thing, and then the breakdown, and there was a meme again, and it was like, "Oh, don't laugh at me, guys." And then it was like the time was like 11:52 or something, and then they obviously got the 5K world record next to her at like 12:50ish.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
It was like, what do you mean? And then they actually zoomed in to realise that that was her time per kilometre, so or something like that. That's just walking. Fair enough. But yeah, she'd made it look like that was the actual time she'd gone for. My first time, don't take the piss. I only did it in 11 minutes. What? I'm sorry, what? Yeah, some bonkers. Some good times out there, though. Some decent movers. I'm like, Jesus. It's hard.
Yeah, fair play to people. I've been nominated and I've just can't bothered. It's just like, I just donate the money instead.
Yeah, I'll donate the money. It's fine. But yeah, I did. Yeah, I donated a bit of cash and it was fine. But I was like, I've already done 2. I've already actually ran. But I didn't post about it. It's fine. Nobody cares that I've run. I'm literally a PT. I should be running around. No, it's fine.
It's too hilly in Bath. It's too dangerous, mate. There's too many there's too many bits you can hurt your ankle on. It's just dangerous.
Regent's Park is too many wild animals. So I could hazardously just wander into the zoo and get chased by penguins and shit.
It's not worth your life, mate.
Tigers. It's not worth risking. Not risking my life on that. But on working out on Instagram, mate, then it was an interesting kind of like a topic we can talk about because it relayed into something that we're going to be doing for the PTC with our future qualifications and ideas that me and Luke have had. And you showed me Ben Bruno got called out on one of his lads deadlifting, right?
Oh, I love Ben Bruno, so obviously it's a bit biased from this, but I saw a video put up of, and obviously I like basketball, so he coaches quite a lot of basketball players. So he coaches a guy called Myers Leonard, who is 7 foot, big guy, and he's repping. I couldn't even tell you how much weight was on it, 400 odd pounds, 450 pounds, something like that, and he's repping out these trap bar deadlifts.
200 kilos, right?
Yeah, 200 odd kilos, and he's repping out these trap bar deadlifts, 10 reps, I think it is. And I was watching the video, I was like, wow, that's impressive. Then I thought to myself, oh, hang on a minute, this must be an old video, because obviously he's not trained him now or whatever, like there in person. And then I started reading the caption, and it was basically how he got called out for the form of his athlete as a coach. And I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, what the fuck are people going on about? I was like, there's barely anything wrong with it. Like you said, if you're being really nitpicky, there's a couple of things that you could be extremely picky on, but ultimately aren't going to hinder the athlete in any way, shape or form. And then when I started reading what he'd been called out for, it wasn't even the things that I'd picked up. I was like, like ridiculous. And basically some jumped up trainer there trying to claim that it was too much of a quad dominant deadlift, and it wasn't a good coaching or whatever. And I'm like, just to get down to the bar being 7 foot, you're gonna have to bend your knees a bit.
Yeah.
Like you just can't get there. Like it's just impossible. And I just found it hilarious. It's just that whole thing. And luckily I kind of now don't see as much of that side of the industry anymore, but it obviously does happen. Just like the whole fucking idiots. The guy's working with elite level athletes, knows what the fuck he's doing. He's getting them strong, he's getting them healthy, and then some jumped up little dude comes along and like, oh, that's really bad form, and it's like, no, you've just showed yourself to be an idiot, and you doesn't work with people clearly on a daily basis because you know that's not bad form.
The criticism, I just got it up. So the criticism was twofold. So he's using too much knee flexion. Amazing. Cool. And so using more quad than hamstring, and also that there's too much weight. It's too much weight because that's how strong he is. That's what he's lifting. He's fair play, like he's 7 foot, but he's lifting off the higher handles. That's why the trap bar's got the higher handles, so you can generate power from the position that you probably most take off from. That's where people jump from, not in a deep deadlift position, in deep hip flexion. Nobody jumps from that point, and I'm sure he's a basketball player, probably been jumping a lot. So
probably
what I do with them, and most of the population. Thank you. I put that on a post that's going to be coming out with the PTC. So I'm pretty sure that's going to rub people the wrong way. But that's what I'm here for, mate.
It is what you're here for.
I was like, the only thing I would have said is he just needs to work on screwing his feet a little bit more. So his knees probably push out towards his elbows a little bit. And then I was like, that's being ultra critical, because I was like, fair play to the lad, he's lifting 200 kilos for reps. And I was like, of my opinion, as a C coach, I was like, as soon as you're hitting us that kind of body weight to weight ratio, you fit your anatomy around the weight and around the lift a little bit more, because you've earned the right to be there, and that's how your mechanics tend to work, and that's what's happening. You try to do it as perfectly as possible, and as you get harder and harder and higher and higher in load, stuff starts to so your body starts to compensate, and that's what's happened with his anatomy. So he probably feels a little bit more, so it looks like on his right quad, this obviously the angle, he probably needs to get his VMO in a little bit more, because he's pushing that big toe down a little bit more. So his VMO active is a lot more active with his right leg. Cool. All right. He's still getting the reps done, and it's going to be, he's crushing it. So, which led us into fitting your exercise around your body, right? Me and Dan do not squat the same. 100%. No. There's no chance. Everybody squats differently. Everybody deadlifts differently. And putting these cookie cutter kind of, and
you should, and everyone should.
Yeah. 100%.
Like that's what coaching is like. That's why people fall down with their coaching. That's where, like, I guess with the work you do, the PTC, and like people, like, you're going to coach people the right way, is that the reason that these PT qualifications are so bad is it's like everyone squats like this. Well, no, they don't. No, that's ridiculous. Like, you need to know tall person, short person, medium, whatever, someone with limited range, certain movements. You know, you need to know how to work around that. And I just think it's baffling that just someone can see that on Instagram and just straight away pick up on it and be like, oh yeah, he's a bad coach because that. It's like, no, you're a bad coach because you're not there to know whether that's right or wrong. Like, so
well,
baffling.
It was similar with the split squad thing the other day for myself, who I'd apparently told that I'd been diagnosed with either tight hip flexors or tight hamstrings or a tight lower back. I've done none of those things, but I was like, how on earth would you know that from a snippet of 3 repetitions as well? I was like, it's bonkers how you can throw that on the internet. And this lad's obviously been trolled to hell, I hope. But yeah, it's something that we're going to be doing on the PTC, that we will look at and show people. If you jump on our courses, that we'll have like short people, tall people, and how to differing mechanics are going to work, and how we would coach that. Because I'm 6'1", and I'm sure somebody, a little lady that's 5 foot, is in a squat, deadlift, bench press, everything a lot different than I am. Even in the office, like I'm quite, I don't know, my arm length and my wingspan's quite big. Compare that to Gordon Greenhorn, who doesn't have I can look at his anatomy. I don't think his wingspan's very big, so he's going to be a hell of a lot better at pressing than I am. But maybe pulling, I'm going to have a lot more big advantage based off what our anatomy says. And people need to understand that as well, because based it off limb length, lever length, it's not basic physics, 100%, because a lot of people don't know it. So it's just how things work. But it needs to be taught at a little bit more of a fundamental level, just to be understood as why people may move around. So generally speaking, tall people will tend to do this, or generally speaking, small people will tend to do this, and over high loads they will tend to do this. Is probably how we need to set it out. And there will be exceptions to the rules, but those guys obviously going to be like, oh, but this person's doing this and you said this. I'm like, oh, please, doesn't matter. It's fine,
like
move on.
It's small little arguments about nothing. That's the thing that annoys me about it. It's just all about nothing, and you're just like, come on, like these are just tiny little things that you just don't need to be arguing about. And it's just about sticking to your lane, I suppose, a little bit, isn't it? And knowing who you work with. I don't work with any 7 foot athletes, so I'm not going to say
no. The tallest client I've got is 6'4", 6'5", which is still pretty tall. And we still have to move stuff around him. And then the shortest one, not too sure, 5'1", maybe. Still big range, 1.5 foot nearly. They're being programmed very similarly, but like, fuck, am I coaching them the same? Like, so yeah. I think that's where people will fall down, though. That's me saying that. Like, I program them the same workout, maybe, or incredibly similar workout, same movement patterns, same movement groups, but I'm coaching them completely differently. That's where again, one-on-one coaching and the art of one-on-one coaching will never die, because that's the case, and people won't be able to learn about that. No. Interesting, mate. But yeah, before we round this out, mate, have you bought your bottles of bleach?
No.
No? Well, you're not going to cure the coronavirus like that, eh? That kind of attitude.
Hey, disinfectant, not bleach. Come on.
Is it disinfectant? Does the bleach not disinfect?
Well, I think bleach is a bit strong, isn't it? I think disinfectant it's like Dettol, isn't it? It's a little bit less like bleach.
Okay. There's me thinking.
Because I think even Donald Trump would know that bleach would kill you if you ingested it. I think even he would know that. I'd like to think.
So you think I'm stupid for just saying bleach? Okay, cool.
Saying that. Oh my god, I couldn't believe that those words came out of his mouth. I had to watch it quite a few times to double check that I'd seen what I'd seen. Do you know? Like, it was almost like
he insinuated.
He was asking the questions like, yeah, surely we can just like get it inside, like, yeah. Like,
he didn't come out and say exact sentence and said, you need to drink this. That never came out of his mouth, at least.
Did you see that there was like there was record numbers of people ringing the hotlines of the company?
Yeah.
About it. Like, it's just frightening. Like the man.
It threw back to a Ricky Gervais tweet, wasn't it, or an interview?
Yeah.
About Brexit, and he said that just take for bleach or disinfectant, take the thing that says do not drink off, let the people who drink it for the next 2 years, then we'll do the referendum after that and put it back on. Yeah. And then we'll get an actual justification of what's actually happening.
Something like people like Donald Trump are the reason we need labels that say do not drink on bleach. It's like, it's just frightening. Like, and this is again like somewhat controversial.
Just throwing out ideas. Is there any way we could get some light, like, light inside you? That's what we need, isn't it? Just get some high end gamma ray light, UV light. Just shine it at the virus. That will happen.
Everyone carry a torch with you. Just carry a torch. We're all good.
Get some torches. We'll be fine. Just shine that around there.
Man is the leader of the free world. Like, fuck. It just shows you how fucking mental they are in America to vote for him.
And they're all out protesting that they shouldn't be quarantined. Their First Amendment, all that.
They love the amendments, don't they?
They do they love it. It's like, no, it's a free country.
People are trying to protect you from death. It's my free right to do what I want.
The irony is that the more time you're outside, the longer that it has to go on. Catch-22, that, isn't it? All the places have opened now in Georgia as well, and they're still like, well, there's nobody who wants to come, so this is a bit odd. But it was interesting that they were talking about today, and whether the small businesses, because obviously they've had small business loans or grants or whatever they've been given, but one of the reasons why they think they may have been forced to open and say they're opening for trade is because they've got an 8-week parameter on when they're allowed to spend this money from now. So they have to spend it, so they can't just like put it to the side and be like, oh no, I'm going to use my profits now, pay my people, and then I'll use that money when I need to. They've gone, no, you have to spend this grant in the next 8 weeks from now, otherwise it's void. And you're like, just put an extension on the fucking grant so they don't have to fucking open. It's mental. So that's apparently one of the reasons why they're being forced to open. Crazy, right?
The thing is, it's so unprecedented, right? No one really knows what to do, but it's frightening.
It is frightening, mate. Any other business?
No. If anyone's got any ideas what they want us to talk about, let us know, because it's getting low. The content's getting low when you talk about Donald Trump. Fucking hell.
We'll do Trumpisms every week, mate. It's fine.
I love it.
Yeah. All right, mate. No business from me, as far as I know. Apart from I'm moving, so I've got to break the isolation barrier thing. So yeah, unfortunately.
I think you're allowed to, though. You just have to.
You're allowed to
stay 2 meters.
Yeah, 2 meters and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's interesting. I had a real go at the people who come into the inventory and stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna try and I need to move out all in one day, obviously. I was like, because I don't really want to prolong the time moving, all this kind of stuff. And they were like, please make sure everything is out of the flat by 4 p.m. And I was like, well, yeah, but there might be 1 or 2 things left in there just in case. And I was like, they're like, no. And then they brought my estate agent. They were like, we will have to extend the period. Will you be out there? We have to. I was like, no. I was like, you fucking morons. Understand the situation. I don't want to spend 2 days out moving. I was like, I need to do it all in one day. And there's a chance that I might not be able to move everything by 4 o'clock. That's it.
Just
and they're
idiots,
like, oh. I was like, all right, fine. And then I wrote a really passive-aggressive email back, like telling them, you're basically telling them they're twats, and that they didn't have any kind of human respect. And they were like, it wasn't clear whether you said you were able to move. Should we keep the booking at 4 p.m.? And I was like, yes, for fuck's sake, keep it. I was like, thank you. Like,
oh my god.
They're gonna really hate me on. Should I be really moody, or should I kill them with niceness?
I'd be moody, mate. It's much more fun that way.
Really
definitely Instagram it as well, please. Make sure you Instagram it. Yeah, the whole.
Just day. Instagram it the whole time. Here's this person forcing me out of my home right now.
Yeah. I'll get loads of traffic. It'll be great.
They didn't agree to put my rent down to an adequate amount. They money grabbing bastards, and now they will have nobody in the flat. Oh well. And also they put it up ridiculous amount. So yeah, mate. All right. I will catch you next week.
See you later.